I keep as a common man, right? So bringing all these factors, right? So something called financial literacy, that is the first thing, right? So the financial literacy is, he should have an awareness that how I will navigate through, right? So if I want to do certain transaction, I need a bank account. That's a first basic thing. Like you have touched on, we have made easy video KYC. So in your time and my time opening an account, we might be spent a week time to get account activated, right? And today you see it's happening instantly. And tomorrow for the Gen Z, it will be seamlessly. That is the expectation. That's
They'll be gone with an account anyway, or something like that.
So yeah, that could be also possible. But like maybe my friend as a banker, and he can think of that products as a regulated aspects. What are the things has to come in? But the point what I'm trying to put is the generation is evolving very fast, and the technology is growing, right? And in today India, almost 70 million of users having a smartphones, right? And there was a time hardly 10% people having it. It's a tremendous change, right? So putting this aspect as money is need for everybody, where there are two things comes to the play. One is the financial literacy and the digital literacy, right? The financial literacy is like, what are the financial aspects like bank accounts and savings products, and the FD, RD, or insurance, or whatever it is, right? So it's a financial literacy, and how I will navigate in a smartphone or a digital mode, right? So if I go ATM, so today also there are cases you can see on a tier 4, 5, 6 cities, they dependent lot with the anybody can assist for ATM withdrawals, right? So it is not the case that everybody can go and they can withdraw themselves, right? So if you see, there are different personalities altogether, and especially like there are visual impairment, they need a support, and there are a lot of things we can bring and we can enable for them, but how we are going to do it, right? So you have a technology, with the technology you can do that. So which is a classic example I can touch that the UPI being a UPI when the time comes for a demonetization and the pandemic, right? So till that time the penetration of the UPI transaction was very hardly less, and the acceptance of those transactions also less. And coming to the part, the digital literacy or the financial literacy, so like you quoted Google Pay, Phone Pay, and few mobile apps. So they don't need to do anything, just take a mobile and click a scan QR and the payment is done. Yeah, that's the simplicity. So it is basically how inclusively you are thinking and you are creating your product, and how you are going to use the technology to achieve that, right? So that is where you have to take the right balance. So that right balance is important, right? So when you think of, I wanted to build most premier services, then you have to spend a cost accordingly to build that legacy, right? So when you wanted to afford some basic necessity with whatever available, like what is your important goal that you wanted to achieve, and who's your target customer segment, right? So these are all the factors I'm thinking, right? So as I have been in a side of part of a UPI technology, and being sometime with the regulator aspects. So when we take for what is a last mile reach, so there's so many products were coming up, and there are so many restrictions. In fact, like Yuniss has said, we simply going and give agree, right? So where the process is the need of that particular access, the accessibility, right? So how we are going to enable the accessibility? Definitely, if you ask me to read all the terms and conditions and go for open account, maybe it's good practice to do, but it is very difficult to understand the common man.
And the font that they write it in is
the font is also, you required some maybe 2-3x power of specs, right? So
it's done purposely so that everything, and there is so much content, first of all.
Yeah,
so don't want to read it, so let's make it.
A lot of data is important for any technology to help you in terms of understanding, especially coming to the AI. Like the AI requires the data, a lot of data, and the computing power, right? So the more data you have and the more computing power you have, you can able to process and you can bring the quality out. And of course you have to fit towards very responsible framework, like are you meeting the compliance aspects, are you meeting your regulator aspects. Let's say if you are going for a savings or a FD, so then you have to meet the RBI guidelines. If you are going towards a mutual funds, or if you are going for any of the depository products, you have to meet the SEBI guidelines. Or if you wanted to open the NPS per se, so then you have to go for a PFRD. There are different regulators in the space who define the rules for that products to have seamlessly and reach for everybody with whatever the the PMLA Act or whatever the risk mitigation we have today, right? So it's equal importance for the policymakers and the tech enablers and the system integrators, and everybody is looking towards providing the service to the customer, right? End of the day.